pressure is piling on governments to make public the findings of the committee tasked to probe the Ejura disturbances. It's been almost a month since the Justice Kumsin Committee submitted details of its findings on the violence which resulted in some deaths to the Interior Minister Ambrose Derry. But the minister and government officials have remained silent on the report. Vice President of Imani Africa Kofi Bento, security experts Professor Kwesi Ening and National Chief Imam Sheikh Osman Nuhu Shaributu agree that the situation is worrying. In the view of Professor Kwesi Ening, a further delay in the release of the report could trigger more disturbances among the youth in the area. He insists shelving such reports will also diminish public confidence in the work of committees like this in the future. He spoke on the Super Morning Show.
By not sharing the recommendation, by not engaging in the wider public discourse about how do we prevent a repetition of such a crisis, that delay or willingness to engage in that conversation is actually laying a foundation first for the possibility of an even more of creating even more disturbances. But even more dangerously is that where further disturbances to take place, then the assurances of the state and its agencies would not be taken for granted. So there is a trust issue here. Okay, so I think it sends an unfortunate and a disturbing signal that the violence in Nigeria does not matter, that those who were hurt don't matter, and that the state agencies who failed consistently in terms of intelligence, in terms of reporting, in terms of political oversight, have all done very well. That as citizens' lives don't matter. And that should not be in a functional, democratic, responsive society governed by the rule of law.
Now, Vice President of Imani Africa, Kofi Bento, also speaking on the Super Morning Show, argued that the delay deepens public perception that government intends to cover up the real issues surrounding the chaos.
Look, we all go on demonstrations. You never know when next time it's going to be you and somebody shoots you from behind. So there's clearly something amiss. And the suggestion would be that it has to do with the content which somebody is not happy with. But I'm saying whatever it is, for the sake of the country, let us put it out, learn our lessons, make the changes, and move on. We saw some of the questions about whether Kaka was a member of this group or that group, and some of us didn't think that was necessary. It feeds into a certain narrative. It looks like this is a committee looking for a narrative to fit a preset story. And we've all heard the commentary that went on. But they continued their work. Now, a delay like this is not helping, because with that kind of situation going into the report, a delay like this goes to suggest that, well, they were looking for a certain story to fit some preset narrative that they had. And speed or disposing of this matter in an objective way can help to remove some of these doubts that people had about the work of the committee. So if there's this delay too after the report, it just fits into the same story that, look, people are not interested in the truth per se. They are interested in telling a certain story to fit something that they've already conceived and intend to foist on us.
We can now listen to the Chief Imam, who has tasked his team to track the progress of the case. He said the family of the late social activist Kaka officially petitioned him to intervene.
So that let's all be kind and be good. When we are good, to all the blessings, the consequence will come to our children and the younger generations. So we pray for all those who have departed. We pray for our grandparents and other family members. We pray for God's mercy. May God have compassion on them. We also want to pray that our end should be good. May we end on a very good note. Whatever appeal that has been brought to me this morning, I am also concerned. I'm also affected that I have not heard anything from the investigations. I will make my advisory board to get involved, so that we find out exactly where are we with respect to the investigations, so that we will find solution to the problem and also establish justice.
Meanwhile, security and safety expert Adam Bona has attributed the delay in the release and implementation of the reports to compensation packages due victims and families of persons who died during the disturbances.
My checks indicate that, the report, especially some portions of it, when it has to do with compensations, I think would have to go through, I think, the AG, finance. They have to do a lot of crisscrossing to arrive at, a safe conclusion, how much is supposed to be paid to, those who died and were injured and all that. My checks indicate, these are some of the reasons why the report isn't out, but that probably won't be a very good excuse. I was expecting the last time I spoke to you that within 10 days from the time I spoke to you, government should have dealt with this. So as far as I'm concerned, these are some of the things and portions of the report, obviously government would have to go through. When I checked, there are portions of it they are still going through apart from the compensation piece.